at least since last March. It's almost a year, gosh, that we've been doing the Bright Side. And they're all the programs are up on brightsideben.com on the archive page. If you miss a page, or if you want to have somebody you know listen to something that we've talked about, or if you want to review a program, they're all up there at brightsideben.com, along with a shopping cart with all the longevity products and videos and articles, and my smiley face on the top of the homepage. You can also click on the Join Now link on the upper left-hand corner of the page if you want to learn more about how you can make some money selling longevity products, or if you want to learn more about the longevity products in general. You can also call Phyllis and Andy at 866-735-2470. I cannot encourage you more forcefully to get yourself on that Beyond Tangy Tangerine powder multivitamin that you add to water and drink. It tastes great, and it's a great way to demonstrate to yourself or anybody else how effective a nutritional supplement program can be. It's also part of the Healthy Start Pack. Phyllis and Andy know all about that at 866-735-2470. Okay, so we're talking about the advantages to burning fat over burning sugar. The body wants to burn fat. It doesn't want to burn sugar. If you find yourself, if you are on a fat-burning diet, if you're on a diet that features only fats, you end up producing something called ketones. Ketones are really interesting chemicals. You can think of them as specialized fats. One of the really interesting things that happens when your body starts to build up ketones is you get an increase in the breakdown of old cell parts. As cells are going through their lives, they are pretty much like everything else that's alive. They're constantly building up new structures and breaking down old structures. A cell is like a little animal, if you will. Just think of those round circles you see in your biology textbooks, except for these little round animals, these little circles, however you want to picture it in your mind, in your mind's eye. These little circles are filled with working parts, millions of working parts. This is an amazing, amazing concept, folks, that we take for granted. Every cell in your body, of which you have trillions and trillions of these things, every cell in your body is packed with millions of working parts, millions of subcellular structures. They're doing their business inside a cell, and these little subcellular structures are constantly being built up and constantly being broken down, much the same way as everything else that's alive, much the same way as your bones and your muscles and a plant. Anything that's living is going to be built up and broken down, built up and broken down. Out with the old, in with the new. The king is dead. Long live the king. You can't put old wine in new wine in old vessels. Any way you want to express this idea, the main point is that for any living thing, including a cell, there's always going to be a system in place for breaking down old material and structures so that new ones can take over. This breaking down process is the life force's way of reassuring that you'll always have new and healthy and strong living systems. So the little subcellular structures inside of a cell are constantly being broken down and constantly being built up. You can express in any way that you want to. But what's really cool about ketones and ketosis is this cellular process, which is technically called autophagy. Auto meaning automatic, or self. Phagy meaning eating. Autophagy means self-eating. And it's basically a process. The autophagy process is basically a process where the enzymes inside of a cell will selectively target old materials for destruction and then destroy them with chemical enzymes. Little chemical enzymes inside of the cell. This is so amazing to me, folks. Every time I think about this, every time I talk about this, it blows me away. Inside a cell, you have this intelligence, somehow this divine wisdom that knows when a little subcellular structure is defective. It knows that that little subcellular structure has to be targeted for destruction. There's an autophagy, a self-eating process that takes place inside of cells, which selectively targets and breaks down old materials. Well, as it turns out, ketones, these modified fat substances that come from dietary strategies or from fasting, ketones encourage this autophagy process to occur and thereby improve the functions of all of the systems inside a cell. Ketones clean cells, and a clean cell is a happy cell, and a happy cell is a healthy cell. So when you're producing ketones, by being a fat burner, by going into the ketogenic diet, you're actually improving the cell's ability to clean clean itself. And a clean cell is a happy cell. You know, in a way, there are different kinds of parts to a healthy body. In other words, the human body can be distinguished by looking at parts, the cell part and the tissue part. So when we have a human body, we want to, in our mind's eye, divide it up into the cell part and the tissue part. Just think of raisin bread. So you think of your body, you've got cells like raisins, and then you've got bread, which is the tissue that the cells are kind of scattered among. Except in the body, the cells are a lot more raisins. So you got cells and you got tissue. Any part of your body, you've got cells and you got tissue. Cells and you got tissue. Cells and you got tissue. It's like raisins and raisin bread, except with a lot more raisins. Think of very, very raisiny bread. Lots of raisins, and you'll get kind of the idea of what your body looks like when it comes to cells and what's called the matrix, which is the tissue that the cells rest in. If you're baking raisin bread and you stick long straws into the dough, you create channels, and that would roughly approximate blood vessels and lymphatic vessels. So your body is like a loaf of raisin bread with lots of raisins, which represent the cells. The bread represents the tissue that the cells are resting in, and if you stick long straws in through the dough as you're baking it, those would represent your blood vessels and your lymphatic vessels. This is all kind of a rough approximation, but I want you to get a picture of something, because I'm going to tell you what this whole cellular health idea means when it comes to how we take care of ourselves. So you got cells, which represent, or raisins, which represent cells. You've got the bread, which represents the tissue, and you've got long straws stuck into the bread, which represents the blood vessels and the lymphatic vessels. The point I'm trying to make here is that the cell raisin's health depends on its ability to absorb nutrients from the bread or from the tissue. Anything that we can do to improve the health of the cells meaning the ability the cells have to get nutrients from this matrix, from the bread part of the raisin bread, is going to be in our interest. Anything that we can do to improve the way cells function, the way these raisins function, the way these raisins excrete poisons, the way these raisins absorb nutrients, is going to be in our interest. One of the key issues involved with aging involves cells that are these raisins that are beginning to lose their ability to pass out poisons, to process toxicity. Under these kinds of conditions, the cells begin to die. The raisins begin to die. And this is what aging and ultimately our death is due to. Cellular death. Our ultimate demise is really tied into the death of these cells, which of course depends on the health of the bread, the matrix surrounding the cells. So the fact that ketones facilitate the cell cleansing process is very significant, and it may account, at least partially, for the increased longevity that appears every time we study fasting and we study calorie restriction. It may have to do with the fact that these cells are processing their poisons much more effectively under those conditions. All right, I'm Pharmacist Ben. You're listening to The Bright Side. We got some folks who are on hold. We'll get to your call.
My Magic Mud is a tooth whitening powder that removes plaque and detoxifies your mouth. It's safe for your enamel, giving you a beautiful polish and a dentist-like clean after every use. My Magic Mud is also the perfect remedy for pain caused by sensitivity. It strengthens your teeth and gums for a strong, healthy smile. The ingredients are 100% natural, and it's safe for children. Simply brush with My Magic Mud right before bedtime for a cleaning you can count on. Visit mymagicmud.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
This alert just came in. This special announcement is for business owners and leaders of organizations who've been waiting for the right time to build. General Steel has made it impossible to wait any longer with rock-bottom prices that could save you thousands. That's right, General Steel, America's leader in pre-engineered structures, is offering buildings at prices you will never see again. Don't miss these prices. A 50 by 100 for $35,000. You heard right. That's 5,000 square feet for $35,000. Manufactured manufacturers. If you need a larger building, try a 100 by 100 commercial building for $129,000. You can't afford to rent with these prices. Imagine a 70 by 100 foot church building for under $69,000. With the economy improving and interest rates still at historic lows, you can't afford to wait. So call 866-91-STEEL. Lock in your price now. Call 866-91-STEEL. That's 866-917-8335.
If you need to say happy birthday, happy anniversary, thank you, or simply I'm thinking of you, ProFlowers.com is the key. ProFlowers has stunning bouquets, like the best-selling 100 blooms for $19.99. Plus, ProFlowers will include a glass vase for free. Sending someone a wonderful surprise of beautiful flowers sent fresh from the fields is easy. Choose the bouquet you like, pick the delivery date, and each order is 100% guaranteed. Plus, all bouquets from ProFlowers are guaranteed to last at least 7 full days. Beautiful, fragrant flowers, picked fresh and sent to your loved one for lasting enjoyment. To get this incredible savings and send someone 100 gorgeous blooms with a free vase for $19.99, go to ProFlowers.com, click the blue microphone in the top right corner, and enter code PLOW. That's ProFlowers.com. Click the mic and enter code PLOW.
I will never forget the day my son Jeremy told me he hated me and slammed the door in my face. I'm behavioral therapist Janet Lehman. Behavior problems can turn the child you love and your life into a nightmare. That's why my husband James and I created the Total Transformation, the step-by-step program that shows you how to fix the worst behavior problems and get your child to respect and listen to you again. No matter what the behavior, defiance, backtalk, angry outbursts, disrespect, we can help you stop it. Now you can get the Total Transformation for free. All you need to do is get the program and let us know how it works for you. You can keep it forever for free.
Limited number of free programs available. Call now. 1-888-912-1595. 1-888-912-1595. That's 1-888-912-1595. 1-888-912-1595.
Hi, this is Steve Sanchez, and based on a recent study, it was found that 57 million Americans had legal issues over the last 12 months, but only 60% of those studied sought out the services of a lawyer. Why? In a nutshell, affordability. Well, my friends at Legal Shield have created a solution that can help you not if, but when you need an attorney. For as little as $17 per month, Legal Shield will provide you unlimited access to qualified attorneys at an accomplished law firm for advice and counsel on legal issues, no matter how serious or trivial. For over 40 years and with 1.4 million families across North America, Legal Shield can help you, the loyal GCN listener. Representatives are standing by now to answer your questions, so call them now at 1-855-340-SAVE. That's 1-855-340-7283, or visit them at lsprotection.com. That's lsprotection.com.
Results will vary from case to case.
We are the premier independent talk radio network, the Genesis Communications Network, GCN.
Welcome back to The Bright Side. I am Pharmacist Ben. Thanks for joining us today, folks. We're here every day, Monday through Friday in the Genesis Communication Network. We're taking your calls at 866-582-9933, discussing heart health, this whole idea of ketogenic diet. We'll talk about this a lot more tomorrow, or Monday, I'm sorry. On our next program, there's a few more things I want to tell you about ketones. Ketones are very important for heart health, very important for brain health. You're only going to get them produced if you limit the amount of carbohydrates, sugars that you use for burning. I hate to sound like a broken record. It seems like we talk about this almost every time we're here on the bright side, this idea of restricting, eliminating, reducing, zero tolerance, if you really want to do it right, for refined, processed carbohydrates. When you start to understand how significant these refined carbohydrates are when it comes to biochemistry, and how significant they are when it comes to degeneration, you begin to see why we are just so unhealthy. Given that the human body is a healing system, it's a regenerating system, it's constantly renewing and regenerating itself, you have to ask yourself, why are we so sick? Why do we have 64 million Americans with heart disease? Why do we have 100 million Americans who are either diabetic or pre-diabetic? Why are hundreds of thousands of people a year dying of cancer? Why are there millions of people every year being diagnosed with cancer? The numbers are ridiculous. And when you compare it to how unbelievably powerful the healing system is in the body, and if you think I'm talking hyperbolically, just think of the last time you